Welcome to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy-looking Nerf Herders. Today I'm reading Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron number 35, Mandatory Retirement, Part 4. Iptisim, Rogue 2. Overwhelming odds do not always matter, especially when valiant warriors know their only alternative is unacceptable. Death. Captain Wedge Antilles, Rogue 1. Zars Hula, Rogue 4. Lieutenant Wes Jansen, Rogue 5. Narin Vakil, Rogue 3. Derek Hobby Cleven, Rogue 6. Felis Ardell, Rogue 7. Avon Barus, Rogue 8. Lieutenant Tycho Kelchu, Rogue 9. Colonel Soontir Fell, Rogue 10. Plor Elo, Rogue 11. Rogue 12. Break starboard, 7! I copy, 11, thanks. Great shooting, 6! Need more of it, 5, if we're going to get out of here. 10 has 2 on him. I could use some help. 10, you're clear. Thanks for the save, Nirin. Glad I could save someone. Shields and experience are our only advantages, and against this many ties, they'll only work so long. Another one down and I'm clear. Anyone need help? Don't need help, 9, but I'll split these guys with you. Gladly, 8. Take your pick. Not the kind of welcome I wanted to greet me, Wedge. Mirax? Get to the ground fast. We'll blind the eyeballs on you. The ties are swarming on the skate, Wedge. Let's go, rogues. Have to scrape ties off. My R2 is hit, and they're still coming. Break port. I have cover for you. Great. Got a miracle for the rest of us? This close enough, 5? What are you doing here, General? Paying you back for some of the rescues in the past, Rogue Lead. I have newfound respect for the Y-Wing. Ex-jocks sound so pained when they say that. They're running them. Let them go and get the ground, now. But we can finish them. Before you finish your fuel, 6? There, landing coordinates transmitted. I copy, thanks. By the way, thanks for the save, both of you. Get those fighters refueled and out again. They're flying cover for the ground troops. Sir, the ambush. Do you think that is wise? Wiser than questioning my orders, Lieutenant. Do it now. Imperial Hotel, Imperial Center, early afternoon. Isn't that Tribune Chawler? I think so. What is he doing here? Controlling an empire that spans a whole galaxy is not easy work. Whatever he wants, all this is his now. It can be work fraught with danger, or work full of opportunities. I didn't know if you would come and meet me. Your invitation was one I could scarcely refuse. A Saravine brandy stinger, my favorite. I'm happy to hear that. Everyone wants something from a man in power. I wanted something from him, his life. I got it, too. It's a pity it was just that easy. General, I can't believe you just kept your people at the edge of the system waiting for us. Good thing he did. I found them when I hopped short to check things out. I was the bait, and they did the job. Well done. Glad to return favors you've done for me in the past. The reinforcements are welcome, very welcome. It's good how this worked. I want to use the skate to trick Krenel into thinking Pestage is gone. I'll pilot the skate, Jansen can take my X-Wing, and all of us will pop up and use our proton torpedoes on the interdictor. Good. Drive it off and we can leave at our leisure. Sound strategy. Then Cap's people head out with Pestage after the interdictor is gone? Wasting the interdictor still leaves the reckoning, but that's only the minor problem with this plan. Right. We'll hit the reckoning with the torps. We'll make him think we want to pot his ship, so he'll pull out. He'll run, drop shots into the bridge, and he'll flee, thinking we intend to go after him, specifically. You think Krenel will run? There's still a problem, Wedge, and that is, where do you get off thinking you'll be driving the skate? But, Mirax, it's going to be dangerous. Not as bad as you trying to take my ship away. But Jansen needs my R2 unit. Flyboys. I knew you needed R2 units, so I brought some spares. She's got you there, Wedge. She sure does. Uh-huh. And she's carrying the ego-piercing weapons, too. Then all you flyboys are in trouble. I won't have you risk your life, Mirax. Just my ship, which is my life. Maybe you need to get more of a life. Sure, after I get the skate off this rock, we'll talk about it. Okay, Mirax flies the decoy while we nail the reckoning. A full load of torps should take a shield down, so the next one will hit hard. We get away safe, and I'll let you set me up with one of your pilots, but I'll wait till you have some cute ones. Deal? I'm not cute. It's a plan. Once everything is gone, our shuttles roll out with the package before Krenel's ground troops get here. Got it. Get everyone going now. We want to hit while they're still reeling. I'm Hobby. Remember me? You're hard to forget, Hobby. Tried hard, have you, Mirax? There's one other problem you have with your plan, Captain. What now? My shuttle assignment has me in a cabin with Iptisum body. It'll only be a short while. Unacceptable. I will not be trapped with animal waste, no matter what the reason. Animal waste? I'm a man. I do not have to endure that treatment. Don't make me go Vader on you. Iptisum was a pilot and a friend, and she died to save your sorry hide. But don't worry, I'll change your assignment. She deserves better than you for a cabin mate. Now get out of here! Here we go. Make the shots count. 2 runs, then we run. Rogues, S-foils in attack position. May the force be with you all. 5. Take 2 flights and work on the ties. As ordered, lead. Everyone else on my mark. Prep torpedoes for dual fire. Close to point blank range. Keep steady. Trimming it up. Aggressor wing. Fire! Shield is down. Come around for another run. Wedge, the skate could use some help. Krenel's got some tractor beams on us, Wedge. Do you mind? Full-powered engines, but they still got us. Ace the drag ship, and I'm gone. Done. Mirax, anything else? That's the last one of the ties, Wedge. Join the rest of the team, then. Time for next torp run. We can't kill it, but we have to hope Krenel is afraid we can. Make them all count, people. Fire! Antiques by Dumas, Imperial Center. I'm sorry we're closed. Edum labor, true way? Yes, it came in unexpectedly. The province is a bit weak, but I trust the person who brought it to me. I was so glad you called. You really got one. Stolen? Liberated from a collector who refused to share his treasures with the world. Oh my, a Sith Lanvarok. And it's in exquisite condition. I've never seen one this well preserved. How much? It's priceless, really. You know I'll pay your price. Please, take it out of the case. Do you know how to work it? I do, You're in luck. I'm left-handed. Splendid. I've been dying to get one of these for my collection. Being left-handed is a distinct advantage using a Lavarok. Fascinating. As you are dying, Plumba, what hurts more, your wounds or the irony of your last words? Target zone is only 1 kilometer to the south, over that rise. Scouts are reporting no contacts. Pick up the pace. We cannot allow them to escape. Move it, people. They're a click out and likely to be real angry with us. Pestage, that goes for you, too. Get your carcass on a shuttle and we're leaving you behind. Torps are tracking and on target. Scan reports serious damage. Artificial gravity generators are gone. Shield generators gone. Binders running. Dead on target. Good shooting. Helmsman, you heard the order. Get us out of here. Reckoning is running. We're clear to lift. Get out of my way. I'm coming. Go, Cap. Leave me. Don't die for me. Die for you? No way. I'm going to date a princess, so I'm not dying here. Paige, give me a hand with this guy. Hey, let's get some shuttle going with this beast. Good to have atmosphere below us. Call the other shuttle and make sure Pistage isn't a problem. As ordered, Commander. Cap, they say Pistage is not with us since he's with them. Since he's not with them. Sith spawn. We're going back? Not for all this spice on Kessel. Pistage made a choice. Let him live with it, if he can. You played admirably to their expectations, Admiral. When I comlinked their plans to you, I did not think you would let the reckoning run as it did. That was never my intention. I would not have run, but my aide feared losing my ship more than losing Rogue Squadron. He will pay for his error. And I shall pay to repair your ship, drawing from the resources of my holdings. You will be my warlord, and together we will form the nucleus of a new empire. You have over a dozen worlds, correct? And personal forces scattered about, enough to hold what you have? I do, and it will be up to you to command them, and even expand what I have. When you do, you will find I am a generous man. Really, I've always viewed generosity as a weakness to be exploited. Exploited ruthlessly. Crack! What was yours is now mine. Carvin is not my master. Isard is not my master. I am now my own master, and the new republic will rue the day they came after me. Ah, Tribune Carvin, I'm so glad you could join me. I trust you are not too inconvenienced by my summons. This is treason! No, this is pressure. This is to preserve the Empire. You would have destroyed it, and that could not be allowed to happen. So you murder me as you did the other tribunes? Murder. That was pest control.
Then will I be controlled too?
Oh, yes, but not in the way you think. I have a place I have developed for people like you, ones who might be of some use. You could again serve the Empire, provided your truculent attitude could be moderated.
I will never become your plaything.
Oh, General Carvin, I think you will find you will become all manner of things when you reach the Lusankia facility. Take him to Lusankia. Also, have them prep my clone for a new round of programming. My new position necessitates some changes.
As you wish, Madame Director.
My wish is the death of this rebellion. Now, with the Empire in my hands, there will be no one to stop me from making that wish come true.
I wish our monument to the fallen of Rogue Squadron was more permanent. Perhaps when we win, it will be. Permanent and no longer subject to expansion. I think all the rogues we honor here would be very pleased if none of their comrades ever joined their ranks in death. Ibtisam is joining them. Her heroine matches their heroism and her compassion. Ibtisam's huge heart let her look past the prejudice that poisons the Empire and search for a new, beautiful future. Some might think that she and we failed in this, our last mission, because Sate Pestage didn't escape. This failure would make her death an ironic tragedy. The tragedy on Suatric was that Pestage's hatred consumed him, and thereby doomed others to the oppression of an imperial warlord. That Ibtisam's sacrifice held open the door that would have left Pestage reconsider and save billions means she sold her life well. Pestage squandered it, and that is the tragedy. What made Ibtisam a rogue was her willingness to accept danger because the payoff for freedom for others was more than worth it. Of course, with the pain of her loss so stingingly fresh in our hearts, that payoff seems meager indeed. But for Ibtisam, knowing she saved us, so we could continue to live, the payoff was beyond measure. She gave her future to us. It is an investment in who we are and what we value. What we do with it, what we make of it, will determine the ultimate value of what her life will mean. So to you, Ibtisam, and all our comrades, farewell. Though our struggles with the Empire continues, you brought it that much closer to an end. And when it is gone, you and your courage will be remembered and live on forever. May the Force always be with you. Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron, Requiem for a Rogue, trade paperback introduction by John Morton. No enemy is deadly enough to make me lose my nerve, says the ever-popular Lieutenant Plore Elo in the Rogue's Ready Room at Brental Moonbase, referring to Rogue Squadron's infamous nemesis, Baron Soontir Fel. The fearless Plore carries the spirit of Hoth, where all we rebel pilots felt we could take on the Empire all by ourselves. Yes, in this Rogue Squadron collection, the spirit of Hoth lives again. In Requiem for a Rogue, you will read about self-sacrifice in the face of evil, personified by the megalomaniacal Deveronian technician, Katerian, and his Sith powers, and the brotherhood and sisterhood across the species, personified by two of the squadron's allies, Delur and Harrion. This Rogue Squadron series captures the spirit of the rebellion. Each issue is more than just excellent action sequences where boldly piloted X-Wings vape the dreaded foe and his fleets of eyeballs and dupes. While the exciting illustrations certainly put you in the cockpit with the explosive force and power all around you, Michael A. Stackpole takes what would otherwise be intricately woven backstories to bring the rogues to life with his revelations of character and detailed continuity of the Star Wars timeline. X-Wing Rogue Squadron is the stuff of legend that parallels the great upheavals and conflicts of our own historical epic, the struggles between right and wrong, both across nations and within the human soul. Art imitates life, but also life sometimes imitates art. From Russian Revolution to the Second World War to the turbulent 60s, conflicting challenged humanity deeply, within and without. George Lucas and many of us who were brought together on Hoth in the spring of 1979 were in a sense children of the 60s, a time both of social conflict and of camaraderie. Some of us saw service in uniform, others took to the barricades, but the mid-1970s, a number of us found our way from all over the world to London, like the rogues, each with his or her own personally epic story to tell. Those of us who serve on Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back felt a spirit anticipating that felt by the rogues on Delta 9, Brentall Moon Base, and later on Orden and Home 1 in this collection. I remember well the first day that Dennis Lawson walked onto the set at Elstree. It was the return of a hero. As stage name in London, Dennis knew many of the British actors and had worked with many of the crew on Star Wars: A New Hope. For the rest of us, we had all worked on other films and stage productions in London. I knew Chris, Malcolm, Zev, from working on the original theatrical version of the Rocky Horror Show, John Ratzenberger, Major Derlin, Jack Mackenzie, Rebel Officer, and I worked on the film A Bridge Too Far. Richard Oldfield, another pilot, was well known to American actors in London for his role as the Vietnam vet in the stage play Kennedy's Children. Eugene Lipinski, a now well-known Canadian actor who got his start in TESB, every day shared rides with me and to and from Elstree. In addition, many of us knew most of the film crew whom we worked with on other big-budget American films shot in Europe during those years. Films like A Bridge Too Far, Superman and Superman 2, and Cuba. Finally, Mark Hamill and I were especially close for 4 weeks. Early in our daily scrambles to our snowspeeder, we discovered a common bond in the U.S. Navy, the chosen career for both our fathers. We both knew what it was like to move around the country every 2 or 3 years and how camaraderie was built fast in times of challenge. Hoth was an exciting and fast-moving place, all right, a huge sound stage dominated by the Millennium Falcon. The set had an atmosphere heavy with anticipation, from Chewie's welding to Leia's pep talk in The Scramble. Can we evacuate Echo Base before Vader annihilates us? Can George keep up his budget and schedule? The work was hard. At times in the battle sequences, George demanded from every pilot and gunner precise eye lines that would allow him a range of possible shots to match against the animation. Mark Hamill was a particularly hard-working and dedicated Jedi. I well remember his disciplined approach to stage fighting in the alleyways between the sound stages. Mark and his instructor would throw themselves into sparring with wooden staves in preparation for lightsaber combat, the staccato cracking of angry wood ricocheting into the distance. Of course, we had our downtime as well. Most often than not, Mark and I were lunch partners. Frequently, David Prowse, Chris Malcolm, and Eugene Lipinski would join us to exchange the latest inside information on the filming. 2 nuggets I remember best: Mark trying to describe Yoda and his set as the kind of samurai frog who lives in the swamp planet, and Mark and David explaining to us how TESB was the 5th film in George's version of a series of 9. We knew Star Wars would be with us for a lifetime. Notorious rebels from far-flung galaxies volunteered for duty at Echo Base. Take the well-known actor Treat Williams, who visited the set one day, caught the spirit, donned a rebel officer's uniform, and spent 2 days on location as an extra. George Lucas gave the generation of the 70s and beyond a new, exciting, and unifying vision, forged out of the ashes of the upheaval his generation saw in the 60s. Equally important on the set with every actor and technician, right down to the tea lady, he practiced the values he preached in his trilogy. This year at the Smithsonian Star Wars exhibition in Washington, George has a quote, "I hope the exhibit will inspire young people who are interested in art, science, and computer technology to use their skills and imagination to create new worlds and to pursue their dreams. That inspiration, the rogues and those of us who went before, pass on to you. May the Force be with you. Dak Ralter, a.k.a. John Fass Morton." John Morton has performed in London's West End, The Lady and the Tiger, in television, Oppenheimer, and in film, A Bridge Too Far, Superman 2, Flash Gordon, Yanks, Cuba, Folks, and The Shining. Most notably as Rebel Snowspeeder gunner Dak in The Empire Strikes Back. After acting, John turned to writing. He has plays produced in New York and Washington, D.C., and is currently a defense journalist. In the studio, Therese Nielsen, an in-depth look into the creative process that produced the cover illustration for Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron Mandatory Retirement. Everything started with a phone call from Chris Warner, the editor-in-chief at Dark Horse Comics. When I said I was available to do a cover for their Star Wars trade paperbacks, he sent me a fat packet of information, including 4 issues of Mandatory Retirement. We had tagged several pages that he thought were significant and might provide me with cover ideas. Also, he let me know the Mandatory Retirement needs to include several elements, a strong space battle, and floating heads of some of the major characters. 1. My first job was to do some very loose compositional sketches to see how I could get all of the elements to fit into one place. 2. Next, I went on a hunt to gather as much photo references as I could. In average, I spent at least 1/3 of the time locating reference material. From all that I collected, I narrowed it down to the images that had the right lighting and the right design based on my overall composition. 3. Then it was time to tighten up my ideas enough to get approval from Dark Horse. Chris had a few comments on positioning, but for the most part, liked what I had done. I enlarged the sketch with my copy machine and laid tracing paper over the top of it to do the final tight sketch version. At this stage, I ironed out all of the size relationships and fine-tuned the positioning of each element. 4. After the final sketch was completed and approved, I Xeroxed it onto the 1-ply Strathmore paper and sealed it with crystal clear. I cut a piece of heavyweight illustration board and covered it with a thick layer of matte medium using a wide brush. Next, I took the Strathmore paper, which had the final sketch Xeroxed on it, over to the sink. I let water run over the front and back of it for about 1 minute until it was totally wet. 5. I took the Xerox back to where my illustration board was waiting with freshly applied matte medium and positioned the sketch where I wanted it. I used a brayer to push the bubbles and excess medium out from under the Xerox, and plain old paper towel working to wipe it clean. 6. At this point, I was ready to paint. I usually try and cover the whiteness of the board as quickly as possible, in this case, I used gouache to wash in some deep hues, which gave me the middle value to work from. From there, I darkened the shadow areas with glazes of transparent airbrush using a combination of indigo and black. 7. Next, I started lifting out some of the lighter areas with the white Prismacolor pencil. I was careful not to get too carried away with the details of this one area yet, though I wanted to bring some of the whole painting up at the same time. 8. I tackled the 3 faces on the right by using the airbrush to glaze in warm colors, punching in a few darks here and there. This gave me a nice base to paint on top of. 9. I rendered out the heads using Prismacolor pencil for some of the lines and oils for the softer blended areas. 10. After those areas, the fun parts, were almost done, I took a deep breath and turned my attention to the spaceships and explosions. 11. When I felt the piece was about 90% done, I spent most of my time just looking at it to see which areas needed more detail or subtle value enhancements. 12. To finish off, I added more colored pencil texture around the closet X-wing and some speck texture on the ground areas, which I achieved by pulling the needle almost out of the airbrush so it spattered the paint. I was tired of looking at it by this time, so I sent it in. 13. Lucas Licensing had a few minor revisions, and Dark Horse returned the original. I changed the laser fire to green, rounded out Princess Leia's face, and made Fell's eyes brown.
Thank you all for tuning in. We invite you to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click the bell to get notified about our next video. Until the Infernal Brotherhood convenes again, my fellow scruffy-looking Nerf herders, may the Force be with you.